Hey you guys, it's me Greg, and as summer's approaching, I wanted to take the opportunity to jump into some of the things that I love about living here in Sweden. But the months are certainly rolling by, and I've nearly lived here in Sweden now for 2.5 years, and over that time I've really tried to throw myself into the culture, experiencing the country, experiencing the people and the traditions, and I'm always getting asked, do you see yourself living in Sweden forever? And if you do, what is it that you like so much? So today I thought I'd package together some of the things that I really love about life here in Sweden so that you guys can get a full impression for why I like it so much. The first one I have to mention is it's not a myth, everything is really as modern as you think. But what I never got into before is BankID and how smooth it makes it for you to verify your identity. And I've got to admit, it's a bigger thing than you would think. Being able to enroll for public services, being able to send people money, being able to sign documents, all just using my phone, verified with my face or with a PIN code. It couldn't be simpler. I feel like the same thing would take you months and months in the UK, having to ring up and ask for support if you were trying to enroll at the tax office, for example. But here, get yourself a personnummer, get yourself BankID, and you can do pretty much everything. And it's not just when it comes to money that things are so modern here. I mean, look at the benefits you get as a working citizen. If you're gonna have children, for example, the mum and the dad get over a year in time off that they can share between them, distribute across the couple to spend with their kids. Yes, in the UK as a new dad, you can expect about 2 weeks of paid leave from your job when your partner gives birth. But here in Sweden, you get so much more than that. You get to take time off with the child all the way up to their 7th birthday, included with your parental rights. So it's no coincidence that you see a lot more men around here walking around with the pram and taking their kids out for the day during the working day, and I think that's a good thing. Of course, it's good for the ladies that want to get back to work and back on with their careers so that they don't suffer the consequences of being out of the job market for so long, but it's also an advantage for the dad as well. It's nice they get to spend time with their kids. Let's be honest, I think in the UK as a new dad, you would miss all of the exciting moments with your new child because you're at work while the mum is taking care of them, whereas here you both get to enjoy that experience. The second thing that I really like about Sweden is the design style here. Yep, I like to think that my taste is quite modern when it comes to interior decor and fashion as well, and I think that really suits me living here in Sweden. Yep, I don't think it's any mistake at all that when you look all over the world, the minimalist Scandinavian interior decor style is really widely liked. Once you've lived here for a little while, you really begin to understand that modesty that you see in people's homes is the same modesty that people respect in the culture. It's really important here that you don't brag and you don't, overshare your achievements. People prefer to be modest, insular, really enjoy what they've got to themselves rather than talk about it. And I think you see that in the style as well. And this video about things I love here in Sweden would not be complete if I didn't talk about nature. So my number 3 thing today is the Swedish natural world and landscape. Yes, I think a common misconception about Sweden is that it's cold all of the time, people are always wrapped up and it's snowing outside. And I think the reason for that is because lots of us in the rest of the world maybe don't know enough about the culture and landscape here in Sweden. But the reality is that the country is one of the biggest in Europe. I think it's actually the 2nd or 3rd biggest country by geographical area, and so there's so many different landscapes and terrains to explore here. What that means is that summer in the north and summer in the south look totally different, both in terms of how much light you get, but also in terms of temperature, and that brings different environments, different landscapes, different animals. It's just brilliant. And as someone that's talked a lot about his love for getting outside, exploring the countryside, lakes and water, Sweden is ideal for me. And I've said it before, but I'll say it here again, I absolutely love that there's so many islands off of the coast of Sweden, all of the different archipelagos in different areas of the country. Don't just stick in Stockholm or Gothenburg, there's so much more to see than that, and it's just beautiful. And isn't it brilliant that here in Sweden they've got a law in place to make sure that you can go out and enjoy the environment around you. There's this law called allemansrätten, and it basically means that you can go out and about and enjoy the most of the countryside as long as you leave it the way that you found it and you don't disturb it. You can go wherever you want. So there's not a lot of private roads and landscapes here in Sweden. If you drive down the road and you find a really nice patch of forest and you just want to wander through, go ahead. So for me, it's no surprise that there's such an outdoor culture here. There's so much to go out and explore. People are spending their weekends, canoeing around different parts of the archipelago. They're swimming in lakes. They're exploring and hunting in the forests. There's just so much to enjoy. And once you're all out of energy and you've had all the fresh air that you want for one day, the 4th thing that I love is here to save you, and that's the Fika culture. And you'd be wrong to think that Fika is just the break that you have in the morning and the afternoon in between the other meals of the day. It's about so much more than that, and there's a real community feel when you come together, you have that coffee time, you kick back, you relax, you enjoy each other's company. I love it. And as a super unstereotypical British person who doesn't enjoy his tea, having coffee all the time suits me so much better. And that's before I've even got onto the Fika snacks. There's such a variety of different delicacies and delights to enjoy throughout the year. Some are seasonal, like the semla, or like the listekata when it comes to Christmas. Other things like the kanelbulle, the cinnamon bun, you can have all year round. And I just mean there's so many different varieties, so many different encounters you can have with food. What is there not to love? There's something for everybody. And I did a whole nother video a couple months back about all of the things I love about Fika. So if you're not done with your Fika fix yet, go and check that out once you're done here. I even count down my top 5 Fika here in Sweden, so that's not one to miss, guys. Which brings me on to the fifth and final thing that I want to share today that I really love about Sweden. And it's probably one of the things that I knew about the country way before I even moved here. Yes, something that I don't think enough people mention is Swedish music. I mean, did you know that historically Sweden was the 3rd biggest exporter of music in the world behind the UK and the USA? I don't think enough people know about that. I don't think enough of us know where the music we love comes from. But if you don't know, the answer is probably Sweden. I mean, Robin, Avicii, Swedish House Mafia, Zara Larsson, and need I say more? But even some of the world's biggest artists use Swedish producers for their music. Yes, Max Martin, Shellback, and Red One all hailed from Sweden originally, and they produce some of the biggest songs in the world. So just because the singer is Katy Perry or Rihanna doesn't mean that the lyricist or the producer doesn't have Swedish heritage or blood within them. So I also don't think it's any accident at all that when you look at an international music festival like the Eurovision Song Contest, the Swedes do well. And the reason for that is probably because they really set the direction of the kind of music that lots of the world listens to and enjoys. And I know I'm likely to get the question in the comments, what are some of my favourite music artists from Sweden that are out right now? So before I go, I've got to share a couple of those. Big shout outs to Miriam Bryant, Felix Sandman, and Benjamin Ingrosso. But the list goes on and on and on. If you look at my Spotify Unwrapped at the end of the year these days, you're bound to see Swedish music as one of the biggest contributors. And I'm sure the reason for that is because obviously I'm here, I'm using the music to learn, but I also just love the sound and the beat and the rhythm. And I know as a deep music consumer, I probably know more about music and music production than your average listener, but I've got to say, next time you love a song, check it out on Wikipedia, and the chances are someone Swedish who's involved somehow. And that brings me to the end of the 5 things that I really love about Sweden. I could have gone on and on, but I really wanted to just give you a lowdown of some of the things that have really made a difference to me since moving to Sweden. I would love to hear if you guys can recognize some of those things yourself. Are there other things you think I missed? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this kind of video, perhaps I can share more things I love about Sweden in the future. You gotta like the video to let me know that that's what you want. And if you're not subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it if you could do that. You can do that down below and then turn on that notification bell so you're the first person to know as soon as I put out a new video. It'd be cool to know you're here, ready and watching them. All that's left for me to say today is thank you for checking out this video, and I look forward to seeing you again in a new one very, very soon. Catch you later, guys.